Peace and love, family.
Happy
Hump
Wednesday.
day.
Happy Wednesday.
How's everybody doing on this beautiful hump day?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am good.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Ah,
Welcome back, y'all. And if this is your first time being here, I am King George, aka Mr. Knowledge is Power.
all right.
And if it's your first time, this beautiful lady to my left is my queen, my one and only, the beautiful.
Natalie, Nicole.
There it is.
Hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing this evening?
One in the building.
Is it late? Is it late? It's
By
late.
some people's standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's late. It's late.
Hmm.
All right. So we are getting back in the groove of things.
You sure are.
On Wednesday nights, we discuss what's happening in the city. We discuss politics. We discuss health. We discuss what's going on in the school district. So
Right?
we ready to get candid.
We are.
Yeah.
But before we get candid,
Mm-hmm.
we always like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring this platform. Tri-City Fatherhood Group, we appreciate them.
Yes.
You can reach out to tricityfatherhoodgroup.com for all your child support questions, needs, consultations, information, and all of that in between. So if you're having issues with child support, you don't know what your rights are, or you're trying to figure out how to navigate the system, we also deal with paternity fraud
Mm.
and things of that nature. Please reach out to Tri-City Fatherhood Group.
Yes. Check them out on social media. They have a web page. Find them on IG and also Facebook.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. And also, we like to thank Role Model Academy, all things modeling, acting, and personal development, doing great things here in the community, supporting our youth, serving our youth and adults with personal and professional development. So, if you're interested in any modeling, acting, or personal development, be sure to check out their webpage
Right.
for any additional information. All right.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. So I'll get into our quote of the day.
Okay.
And we always like to give a little inspiration,
Yes.
especially from our own people.
Mm-hmm.
Our quote today will come from, let's see, I think it's going to be from John Lewis.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Good
let's see.
trouble.
Mm, John Lewis said, "Get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America."
Mhm.
John Lewis, one more time. Get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America.
I love that. What good trouble have you gotten into this week, honey?
A lot. A
Oh,
lot.
is that
That
right?
is right. That is
You
right.
care to elaborate like you do me? You care to elaborate?
Sure. So we have been working on RMA
Mm-hmm.
and getting RMA off the ground,
Okay.
painting, renovating,
Okay.
laying the groundwork and the foundation for Role Model Academy
Okay.
in the Tri-City area. So that's one thing, good trouble I've been getting into.
Okay.
Yeah, also, I would say Tri-City Fatherhood Group, trying to find different ways to help men, families come together, especially in our community,
Mm-hmm.
to help build up our community and bring our families back together. So yeah, so that's the trouble I've been getting into.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So on Wednesdays, we dig into politics.
Mm-hmm.
We dig into the school district.
Yeah,
We dig into city news
we
and a
do.
little health situations. So where would you like to start today, King George?
Well, where I'd like to start today. Let's start with. Did we
Oh,
make it into any events?
um,
I don't think we have been.
since Sunday to now, no, I don't think
Oh, okay,
so.
no, we haven't.
Yeah,
We haven't. But
no, we haven't. There's not been much going on this week that I really know about.
right, that's been
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's like it's close to the first of the month, right?
right,
So, yeah.
right.
But you know, you want to elaborate on some of the city council meetings we've went to? Um,
Yeah.
we went to some of those, and I know next week should be one coming up, as well as the school board meeting. So, what's been your thoughts, um, on the school board or the city council meetings?
So far, I would say, I don't feel like the city council board members are on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
In life in general, it's kind of hard to get a group of people moving in one direction. You know how they
Right.
talk about in the military, what is it, one army, one fight.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, one mission, one fight, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, trying to get everybody on the same page. So just being out there, seated and looking on the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of cohesion or teamwork. You know what I mean, amongst the city council board members. So that's one thing that I've noticed. And then on the other hand, the candidates that are running for these different offices, whether it's District 10 or whether it's District 140, and even some of the school board members that are running.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been interesting to see how they show up and what their plans are to change and help bring positivity and some, something fresh and new to Columbus.
Right.
So it's been interesting to watch that process of them answering the question on how they plan to change things, make positive change, because Columbus definitely needs it.
Right.
Something different, something new, because we've seen the track record of, I would say, the past 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't been good. So a lot of people have been sitting in seats, but they haven't been affecting change. So yeah, it's been interesting just to see how the city council members and how the city council handles things when it comes to the people of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Now, how do you feel as it regards to representation? Each person is up there to represent different areas of Columbus, Georgia.
right.
Like, how do you feel? Because it's obvious and it's so cliche. You have your north, south, east, and west,
Hmm.
and then you have those people who represent those different areas, and you see economic growth and development in certain areas and not so much in other areas. Do you believe that has anything to do with the city council people? And partly like, um, do we even know what they're supposed to be doing really? What they're supposed to be serving and how they're supposed to be serving us really as constituents, as people who vote them in. Do we even know?
I think so. Well, I have an idea.
Okay.
So I feel like they're supposed to be the spokesperson for whatever district.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So whatever issues the community is having or that district is having,
Mm-hmm.
that representative speaks for that district and speaks for the
Okay.
people to say, hey, we don't like this, we don't like that, or we do like this, or we do like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I feel like those city council board members. That's what they're there for. They're just there to speak for the people who they're representing in that district.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not necessarily there to. I don't feel like to. They're representative for the people. So I feel like whatever the people want, they're supposed to be lobbying for what the people want.
Yeah.
And also things that they see that they can change themselves. I feel like that's another thing they're responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Things that they see in the community that needs to change, whether it be abandoned houses, abandoned buildings,
Mm-hmm.
trash all over, the roads, streets.
Mm-hmm.
They have a platform and they have a responsibility, I feel like, to help change and fix that.
Yeah, and when does the city get involved? I feel like I drive around a lot of areas
Mm-hmm.
and it's dirty. I
I
feel
agree.
like there's trash all over the place. I feel like grass is not being mowed. And it's becoming like so like too much. Like I'm tired of seeing it and I'm concerned. I'm like, well, who is responsible for it? That's really what I want to know. Like, who's responsible for it?
Yeah, it's those council members,
Yeah.
whoever's over those districts, they're responsible. You have to know what's going on in your district. You know what I mean? Like if you don't feel the heartbeat, you know what I mean, per se of the district, you are not. I feel like you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
And one thing I know for sure is that dumping has become a huge problem in Columbus. People just throwing trash. I was just driving up the street the other day, trash all on the side of the road. Like, to me, I don't even understand how I even got to that point.
Right. And
People
it's
don't even
still
care.
there. And it's still there. And so it's like, we've seen that the waste, what is the
City workers,
city, it's
waste workers.
yeah, they are saying they are overwhelmed with the amount of work that they're having to do. And so either it's showing because like there are several areas where trees, debris, different things like that. There's tires all over the place. It's just random trash and it's not being picked up. It's on the side of the road, but it's not being picked up.
So I think that's a result of the issues that they're having with the workers. Like the workers are overwhelmed, so these people are not getting their trash picked up, and it's piling up. So they're just dumping it, throwing it, wherever they can get rid of it.
Dropping it off wherever they can drop it off.
So I think that's part of why we're seeing this issue.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just, this is a conversation we've had before. People get elected and they get in office and then they say they're busy. And so,
listen, that is unacceptable.
Right. They say they're busy and they have jobs and personal lives.
No.
And we get that. But a priority is serving the people who put you in office. Like to even have the audacity to be like, oh, I'm busy and I have this and I work another job too. It's like, really? You
shouldn't be sitting in that seat.
Right.
If you don't have time to serve the people, like.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what you sign up for. Like everything else has to be put on the back burner, kind of, in order for you to take that seat.
Or you get your priorities in order. Time management. Get your priorities in order so you make sure you're balanced and you're taking care of what you need to take care of. But the last thing a constituent wants to hear is that, oh, I got a job too, and I have a life, and I have this.
Or you're busy. Or
that's the last thing you want to hear. So, it's just interesting dynamics, and of course we're on the outside looking in and we have no idea the private conversations or what's being said and what's being done, but we can just see the fruit of a dirty city, really.
It's unfortunate,
and so it's just like we care and we pick up trash. It's in my DNA. I cannot walk by, I cannot do it and leave it there.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but you can only do so much as individual people. Collectively, we have to come together and we have to do better. And, the accountability has to be there from those people who are elected.
Right.
And put in those places. Now, I did see, and I didn't get a chance to read it, but there's supposed to be an initiative for something about waste and trash and something. So I'm going to read that so I can get some more information.
Okay.
But I did see some information about, there being some new things going on to, I guess, hold people accountable and maybe citations and different things for trash. I don't know.
Now, maybe they can hold businesses accountable, but I don't see how they're going to hold residential areas accountable.
No,
for trash.
I think they can, because I remember I told you a long time ago, I got up at like 7:30 to mow my lawn and they called. They called the police and the police came out. He's like, oh, there's a noise ordinance or something. You're not allowed to mow your lawn before 7:30. And I didn't know. So, I mean, the same way that they can come out and, correct that, I think they can come out and correct. Because, listen, they'll get you if your grass is too high, too. They'll get you. So I think they can get you for noise. I think they can get you for unkempt grass. So I think they should be able to get you if you, I don't know.
No, I see what you're
it's
saying.
It's stuff to learn, to know about, though. I have no idea, though.
I see what you're saying, but for me, this is what, my humble opinion is, that people like to say. If you live in a certain area, a lot of the people in that area don't care. So nobody expects them to pick up trash, keep their lawns manicured. Nobody's expecting that. On the flip side, on another side of town,
right,
that's an expectation.
Right.
You're gonna keep your yard nice. You're gonna keep your trash, and so people will call on you
Yes.
on one part of town,
Yes.
but on the other side of town, your neighbor's yard looks just like yours, so nobody's trying to call nobody. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
unfortunate.
Now I think I did
But it is
see
what it
at the
is.
city center
Hmm.
where you get your certificate of occupation,
Hmm.
like they are supposed to be holding people accountable for codes as it regards
Businesses or
yeah, and
yeah,
residents
they'll
too,
hold
I think.
they'll hold businesses accountable, and then some of them don't even get. You know what I mean? But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I mean most businesses that you go to,
Hmm.
they're upkept. In
Yeah.
my opinion, like
Right, right. If they want your service,
yeah,
most
like
of
you don't want to
them,
roll up and you know what I mean. You try to
yeah.
spend your money with somebody and they don't even care. What? How do they say? First impression is the last
Oh,
impression. You
yes,
know what
that
I
is
mean?
so true. And it speaks volumes about, your service and what you plan to deliver most times,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So, hey Verna, and I see another name that I don't know how to pronounce. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us this evening.
Peace, y'all. Come on in, get comfortable.
Yeah, we're discussing, some of the concerns that we see around in the community and different communities, and just the grass is just out of control for me. It's out of control. There's a lot of unkempt grass not being mowed, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know. And being from Florida, I'm not going to say all of Florida is perfect.
Hmm.
Don't do it, don't do it. But the majority, like, they take pride,
The majority.
the grass, everything. Yes, yes, it's beautiful. The palm trees, everything. It's just gorgeous most times, most places.
You talking about businesses or you talking about
I'm
residences?
talking about it all, which, yes, more so than here. I'm just used to people taking care of their grass and, you know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Listen, Candid family, please put in the chat. Y'all comment what y'all believe.
Hmm.
Why some people keep their yards kept up and some people don't. We talked about this before, I believe. And
Yeah.
one guy was saying nobody got money for weed eaters, and
Right. He
what did
said
he
nobody
say?
has money for the weed eater, lawnmower strings,
Nobody
all
got
kind of
money for
different things.
fertilizer.
Right, right.
But
But
yeah,
listen,
yeah. So
and I guess I'm trying to figure out too, like, what is the city property? Where, like the sidewalk areas, is that considered the city property? I don't know what's considered the city property,
yeah.
but
So all sidewalks, yeah, that belongs to the city right there.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I feel like they should make sure that stuff is kept up, and it's not. It's not.
in certain areas though,
Yeah,
like
you're
that's
right.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you just joined us, we're talking about, we kind of talked about briefly what we believe city council members, what their jobs actually are, like what are
Mhm.
they in that seat to do?
Mhm.
What are their
Mhm.
responsibilities? So we kind of gave, like, I said I believe that they represent, they are the spokesperson for
Right.
the
Right.
people in whatever district that they're representing. So
Mhm. And then too, it's also our responsibility, to communicate with them as well. And
right,
so, I know people who have communicated and they receive a response back, and there's actions, but
hmm
do those actions line up to the standard that would be acceptable in Midland or North Columbus or whatnot? What do you think?
it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same standard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's just the reality of it because um, just a certain demographic or a certain area they're not worried about.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not. You know what I mean? They're and it's evident. Like actions speak louder than words. You can just look.
Mm-hmm.
Abandoned buildings, abandoned houses, trash, recreation center closed, or the pool closed, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So you can just look around and see, you know, stuff that's happening on one side of town where everything is open and stuff is
Mm-hmm.
vibrant and there's no abandoned buildings, and then you look on the other side of town. So this is deliberate. Like this is not a mistake. This is not by accident.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Well, I
it's
don't know.
unfortunate, but
Yeah, I don't know.
if you is evident to me.
Right. And so, and we're on that point because, when we sit in the city council meetings and there's uproar, it's an eyesore and it's, it's damaging to the community and this, that, and the third about situations downtown, uptown, they call it,
Right.
Abandoned buildings or what have you on Broadway.
Right.
However, this same uproar and these eyesores that we see prevalent on certain sides of the community, there's no mention, there's no communication, there's no problem, because most of those people do not live in those neighborhoods, and so therefore it does not rub them the wrong way. And unless we speak up, unless we say something, nothing's going to get done.
Right, but again, it goes back to those city council members who are representing those areas. They got to be held accountable for places looking like they look.
Right.
So.
Right.
But so it's a responsibility for the people and that council member who represents the people. The council members should be, they should know, kind of know what's going on in their district and what the problem areas are. So they gotta fix things on their own, and then the people have to also come to them and bring stuff to their attention that they might not, know about.
What's that road, Chautauqua?
Oh, what road? Chautauqua Road.
Is that a Chautauqua Road?
That you drive?
Yes.
It is. What's going on over there?
It's unkept.
Oh,
it needs to be mowed. And so it's like I'm seeing this every day, and I'm seeing the signs of the people who represent those districts.
Well,
like
is
I
that
said,
a residential area though?
It's up and down the street. I don't know who's supposed to be responsible for that.
Well, the city,
the prison is on one side, and
the city is responsible
businesses
for that.
is on one side. So and so I feel like it's just a lot. Like it hasn't been raining like that. So in my mind, I feel like I'm trying to justify, why, but the weather hasn't been bad. So I'm a little bit confused. Yeah.
Again, people got to complain and then hold the city council person accountable.
Yeah.
For it to get done and fixed and mowed.
Right. And so, the dumping problem is a big deal.
Yes.
And I did see some memo or some initiative where they're trying to work that out, I believe, but I got to read it in more detail. But there's tires, there's big trash just all over the place. And we have a waste management, system in place. And so they're passing by it. They're passing by it because either it's not out there the way it's supposed to be.
Listen. If you got a mindset like me, this is an opportunity for somebody to create a business, to solve a problem, to make money.
Yes, and send a contract to the city. Yes.
The city workers are already overworked. So that gives a contractor an opportunity to come in and go pick up this trash.
Yeah, that's laying around.
Yeah, I'll be the first one in line. Yeah, I'll do it. My price is this, and this.
Yes. Hey, Mr. Ash, how you doing?
Peace and love. Come on in.
Yes. And so city council, I think, and some of those people have been on there for years. Like I think they said Mr. Allen's been over there for like 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. Some of them have been there for a long time. And so it's just like, a lot of people go opposed. And so that allows them to continue to sit in the seat. But what are they really bringing to the table? And are they really representing today who their constituents are? You know how they say that old money and new money? Like, are they really representing, like, is Mr. Davis really representing the new money? Is he? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's old money and it's new money. And I'm trying to symbolize, it's the old school people or it's a certain demographic of people he's representing, but that does not mean he's representing in totality everyone in his district. That's what I'm trying to say.
He doesn't have to. And I say that because as we have been learning and have learned and still learning how it goes in Columbus, it's who you know.
Oh,
in Columbus.
Right. Okay.
It's who you know.
Okay.
And who you know will get you a lot, it'll get you far in Columbus.
Right.
If you know the right people.
Okay.
With
the right coins.
Right. Or not. Because sometimes, they say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
So you might not have the coins, but you know somebody, you can get stuff done.
Okay.
So I said all that to say when it comes to those city council members or whoever is running for office in Columbus, yeah, they're well known. We talked about certain people who they're not worried. They're running and they're not worried because they know they're in the right circles. They know a lot of people and they're endorsed by certain people. So, so that's what's happening in politics and that's what's happening in Columbus from what I can see. I mean, I'm born and raised here. Growing up, I didn't know much about the politics of Columbus. I really didn't care, to be honest. But, you know, as I gotten older, I started to realize and understand it's who you know.
Right. And, you know, it's a lot. I will say that politics, it's another one that I want to think, but I can't think of it right now, is, sports. Sports and politics are two main things here in the city of Columbus that I know for sure is divisive. It tears us apart as a community. So for sports, I sit in the stands. You're supposed to be out there watching your babies play, and then you got parents fussing, cussing, and all kind of stuff, and even to the kids, right? So very divisive. And then we have politics. We have newspapers tearing people apart, you know, choosing and endorsing, and you know, it's a mess, really. And so we talk about unity.
Right.
We talk about unity and coming together and for the greater good. But look at how we tear people apart publicly, you know, on news media, you know, because we don't agree. And so, like, that's the struggle for me. You know, maybe the person made mistakes, maybe they're making mistakes. Where is the mentorship? It's like, you know, how I feel about Wendy Williams, you know?
How do you feel about her?
I love her.
Okay.
How you doing? So, you know, she sit on there and, you know, she would talk bad and whatever, but they knew when they was going on the show, they knew she was going to be give it to them straight with no chaser. They knew that. They signed up for that. Meanwhile, you have people like, well, I won't mention his name, and you know, these people are going on there in good faith, and they are being torn apart and demeaned publicly by him and others. And so either way you look at it, for me, it's not okay. That's how I feel about it. Okay. It's not okay.
And y'all, please chime in on how y'all feel about it. If you've been in Columbus a long time, you pretty much know how things go here. Like I said, I believe it's who you know that gets you in these positions you need to be in a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the times in Columbus, it's who you know. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And it's not about liking a person. It's not about being, you know, popular or this, that, and the third. It's just like common decency. You know, again, that foundation of unity and us sticking together. Listen, ripping people apart publicly, you know, and it's unfortunate for me. I feel bad about it. And I don't like it either. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
We talked about this before. Until we come together and stick together, we're gonna keep getting the bad end of the stick. You know, it's gonna
and
keep happening.
these very same people, like most of them, like they're in cahoots and they're getting donations, and you know, they're getting all kind of, you know, backdoor deals from these very same people, you know, but it's behind the scenes, closed doors. Like I've been in the churches, I've been through this campaign stuff, and you know, before they roll up in there, they know they have to give a donation. They know they have to give money. And I've heard them say, I gave my donation, to be in somebody's pulpit and to be in somebody's church, you know, vote for me. And so it's no different, but we're making certain people like out to be the devil, and there are people. No matter how you slice it, there are people.
Right.
So, interesting.
We got any comments
No. I think we're in it to win it tonight for for that part of the discussion.
Okay. Yeah. So you want to jump into
some upcoming events now?
What is that on? I'm telling you.
Listen, there's a yard sale coming up on Saturday. And let me see. On Saturday, what is the address, honey? You remember the address? Let me find it real
talking about
quick.
Shaw?
Yes.
The address is, I just had it.
Yes, and I seen a comment from why you find that. Let's see. Sadly, who should be represented is lost sight of. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's what I mean.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Which is why, like we talked about, these people who are in these seats to represent us have to speak for us. Otherwise,
yeah,
like she said, we get lost sight of.
The thing for me though is that, I've heard people say, "Oh, you got to speak truth to power," and I feel like that's a sham.
You feel like that?
I feel like it's a sham,
Why
if that's correct, the way to put it, because I don't believe.
Like
yes, I don't believe that person speaks truth to power.
Street.
Yeah, I don't feel like they speak truth to power. I feel like they're in cahoots with the very same people that they're saying speak truth to power too. So yeah, I don't.
Well, that's why I said what I said as far as it's because you got to think about it. Things have been done a certain way in Columbus for a long time. So, people who are in certain places, their families were in those same places.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or their their family members, or their sorors, or their frat brothers. They so.
Just talking a good game, to the people. Okay, so that yard sale is going to be at 2822 Shaw Street, Columbus, Georgia, this Saturday. It is for a great cause. They are raising funds for SARN, which is the Southern Anti-Racism Network. Their 25th anniversary is coming up, so stop by and check out the yard sale, and you can also give donations if you'd like. Yeah. Right. Okay. And then
what was the date?
That's going to be the 11th.
Okay.
Yes, the 11th. Is that? Yeah, the 11th. Then also there's going to be a forum coming up on the 11th as well, and that is going to be at the Rose Hill. Let me see. Is that a Baptist church? It's not.
I can't remember if it's Baptist or not.
Yeah, I'm going to find it here in just a moment. But there's going to be a forum, another opportunity, if you have not voted already, to learn more about your candidates. Okay, so it's very important. Like I said, when I got to that ballot, there was a lot of names on there of people who were unopposed, who are not doing any campaigning or anything like that because they don't have to. But it's still important to know who you're voting for. So our justice system firm, a candidates forum, and so it's a must-attend event, 12 to 2 p.m. on Saturday, the 11th of May. And if you have questions, we did send out an email with all this information on there. Join our email list if you would like more information. But see you there on Saturday, 12 to 2. And it is the Rose Hill Memorial Baptist Church, 1301 22nd Street. Okay. I'm looking forward, even though I've already voted, I'm still looking forward to meeting the candidates and hearing what they have to say. And I'm going to be honest, like I've heard that, there's some candidates who are definitely just not qualified. They've been put, to run against certain people, and it's like so obvious that they're not qualified to run or that they don't have the background to run, but they're just another way of dividing our people again. So just like we can see it, a lot of people can see it. They see and read right through it. And the person's not campaigning, they're not hosting events, for people to get to know them or anything like that. And so it's just interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of them, I feel like, don't take it seriously for those same reasons that you stated. They already feel like they got it in the bag. They're in the right circles. They know the right people. So yes, that's how I feel like it goes down.
And it's unfortunate, they'll likely win.
Yeah,
for those
sometimes,
reasons.
because you remember in high school or you remember in school where it wasn't necessarily the best person that won, it
Yes,
was the most popular.
person.
So that's how
Yep.
it kind of goes down
Yep. And that's still true
in some instances.
in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Still true in real life.
So
Now-
people got to get out. Of course, people still have to get out and vote and do their part to
Right.
make sure the right people are getting into those seats.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part, I believe it's popularity and who you know.
Right. Right. And so I want to know too if anybody knows about this independent stuff, because so in District 139
Mhm.
there was 4 people running, Knox, Rice, another gentleman who was a veteran, and Mallard.
Right.
Okay, all of them were Republican and Mallard was independent. So when you go into the polls
Mhm.
and you either get a Republican ballot, you get a Democrat ballot, or you get a nonpartisan.
Mhm.
Okay, and so that means that you would have to get a nonpartisan ballot in order to vote for the person who's independent. And so how are we supposed to support somebody? Like if you have more people on one ballot that you need to vote for,
Yeah.
and then just this person on a nonpartisan ballot that you want to vote for. Like somebody help me make that make sense for me, because when I went to look for that person's name on my ballot, they weren't there. So I don't know like what's the mindset that goes into. I get it, nonpartisan, I get it.
Yeah.
But if we are not able to support because it's not going to show up on, those primary ballots,
Mhm.
please help me make it make sense for me. I don't understand. And how did we get here in the first place where we just don't have everybody's name on there? So we can figure out who we want to vote for, whether it's a Republican person or a Democrat person or an independent party person. Anybody that has any, say or understanding about that, please chime in.
Right.
Because I was very disappointed not to be able to support that person.
Mhm.
But you have the majority of the people you need to vote for is on this ballot, so I can't go in there and just for one person. So it was a little devastating.
Yeah. Like you
Yes.
said, it's unfortunate, but that's how they have been doing it. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things coming up. School is almost out.
Right. The summer is upon us.
Yes.
The heat is on the way.
May 21st or 23rd, I believe, is the last day of school. Students will be out. Exciting. And there's some events lined up for them. There's job opportunities.
Mhm.
There's even things available for senior citizens, lunch and learns. So make sure summer learning experience, if your students are interested or if you're interested in having them participate in that, they do not have to be failing to participate. They could just go as a form of summer camp to participate and prevent that learning loss that happens during the summer, academic learning loss. So we do send out these emails at least 2 to 3 times a week. So if you are not a part of our email community, go ahead and let us know so we can add you, provide your email. And if you have events that you would like to share, go ahead and email us and
Right.
we will definitely share them and spread it out to our sphere of influence and those people that we know.
Right.
Because we're all about supporting and just, maximum support, which is like a big deal here, for people planning things on the same day.
Right. Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I want to say shout out to the brothers and sisters at the embassy
Okay.
and the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
They are doing a community refrigerator. We just found out.
Yes.
So we know As He Leads is a part of that. And Lakita, you can fill us in on the specifics or the particulars of that. We kind of know, I guess, the gist of it.
Yeah, Miss Shay Anderson was kind of talking about
Yeah.
it live today. And
Yeah.
so they have some youth that are painting or decorating the outsides of the refrigerators, which is
Right.
wonderful. And then they plan to place them outside in areas that are
In need, poverty stricken or
right,
in need.
right, and not
Um,
close to healthy
Right.
food arrangements,
Right.
which is wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
It's interesting. So yeah, we
Yes.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely needed.
Hmm.
Me personally, I would like to see it monitored,
Yes.
but we're gonna see how it goes, and then,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they'll tweak this and tweak that to to fix if there's any issues.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
because they said you need to make sure the refrigerator stays clean,
yes.
and
Stocked.
maintained,
Hmm.
stocked. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I believe it'll be a success. Of course, with anything, it's trial and error at the beginning until
Yeah.
you.
Fine tune it.
Right.
So they said they check it periodically and things like milk and I guess different refrigerator items that can be placed in there.
Right, necessities.
Right. And so, right, the monitoring part for me, like what you said, is what's going to be interesting to me because who's to stop someone from coming and just like,
Taking everything all at one time.
right,
Always being the
right.
first one in line and grabbing and go.
Right,
And then
that
take it to
part.
the hood and sell it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
So yeah,
you
it's interesting, but a great initiative. There was also
right.
a lady on there who was a farmer. Did she say she was a
Yeah,
farmer?
well, she's not
She's
a farmer, but she had,
her own garden and all that good stuff.
yes. And they're going to be doing I think she said they do this every year. And they've been doing it for the past, I think, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to get y'all some more information about it, but they're going to be doing a dinner, and it's all going to be locally grown food that they're going to be serving.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to it.
That is amazing because
Right.
Considering
a community garden, I think.
Did you say that all the hamburger meat at Walmart was recalled?
Yeah. Y'all comment if y'all heard the same thing we heard. But yeah, all the Walmart beef has been recalled.
Yikes! Yes.
So if you purchased beef from Walmart recently, you probably need to go throw it out or take it back. Because I don't know if they said it was E. coli, or I don't know what it was, but I just know it's been recalled.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to be
that's a lot of
careful
beef
these days, right? You got to be careful with the foods that we consume. It's just not the same anymore. The quality of what we are getting is not the same.
It's not the same. And I saw a article. I read an article where it said people like Jeff Bezos, who who owns Amazon, and a bunch of these millionaires and billionaires they're championing this artificial food that you can make in a lab.
No.
Yeah, they're trying to push this to the forefront of modern society. They're trying to push this to for whatever reason, this genetically modified or chemically created food. But
no,
he came out and said that.
It's not cool at all. And that's like, we're really big on, fruit. I'm like, is this the season for it? Is this when it's supposed to come out? Because they're having stuff all year long. And when they have it all year long, then we know that it has been chemically something.
Some of it, some of it.
To still be around when it shouldn't be,
Right.
So it's just little things like that. That being mindful of what you intake and what you're taking into your body, because you only have one, and it's just like taking in a cigarette or taking in alcohol, killing your liver, killing kidneys and stuff like that. Could very well be doing the same thing with food.
Right. And you just told me today that McDonald's has a vegan burger. I was like, ain't no way. There's no way. First of all, the burger's not even
fake
real.
news or not, but yes, I did see it. It said
I think I saw that too.
A vegan burger.
Yeah.
And
y'all put it in the chat if y'all saw that or heard anything about McDonald's having a vegan burger. And we love to get on here and give y'all value and add value, but at the same time, how do they say it? I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me later. But that's what I heard. McDonald's.
Yeah.
You told me that. And I think I saw some kind of article that they had a vegan burger, but
right. And so vegan burger for me is in and out. When you tell them you want a vegan burger, it's lettuce, tomatoes, onions, vegetables, a veggie burger for real.
Okay.
No meat. No situation that's in there looking like a piece of hamburger, but it's something else. And so that's what the McDonald's thing had. It was like a circle piece.
Yeah, that's how it usually looks.
Vegan burger.
Yeah.
But no, In-N-Out would have, you say I want a vegan burger, then you
Mhm.
get nothing but vegetables on that burger with some bread. And so that's healthy. That you can tell exactly what you're eating. But when you make these, situations, who knows what's in there?
Right. Right.
Who
So
knows?
yeah. So at all costs, try to eat as healthy as you can. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because like you said, you only get one body. Your body is your temple, and eventually it's going to start breaking down.
Hmm.
But it's little things you can do to prolong that process.
Right,
As long as
right,
possible. So
right.
yeah,
And it's important to do that, so you can live on purpose as long as possible.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
important to do that. Drink
Especially if you
plenty of
like us,
water.
if you got big plans to travel the world and do all these other things,
Yeah.
you can't be carrying an oxygen tank. You know what I mean?
No,
You
no,
can't be,
and no. Help
yeah.
today.
So it's important for us to be able to do the things that we love
Hmm.
now and in the future. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Ooh,
yeah,
yes.
please take care of your temple.
Hmm.
What you got?
So nothing. Girls Inc. has this event coming up,
Right.
which is a big deal. I think it's the 10th
Mm-hmm.
year for it, the 10th annual celebration dinner, and it's going to be at the Trade Center, I believe. And so they're asking and looking for sponsors and
Okay.
vendors to support this event. So wonderful. I'm looking forward to being there this year because 10 years and I've not ever attended one. So this was I was glad to see it on the news
Yeah.
because you shared this with me, right?
Right.
Because I was not familiar with it at all. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on, plenty of things to do here in Columbus, Georgia. Juneteenth is coming up. A lot of people are planning to do their different celebrations.
Right.
Do you guys honor Juneteenth? What does it mean to
That's a
you?
good question.
What
Yeah,
does it mean to
put in the
you?
chat if like you said, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay because I was on someone's page today
Mm-hmm.
and they said that we shouldn't even acknowledge ourselves as Americans, being as though all the things we have endured in this country, just Africans. But
Mm-hmm.
I just know that that does not sit well with people at all because America has done such a wonderful job of making us feel or disconnect ourselves from our culture or wherever we may have come from. They've done a great job of making that seem inferior. And so this, disconnect
Right.
and so, yeah, people have problems with the term African, and some would just rather call themselves American as opposed to African. So, it's an interesting debate and discussion to have. Um, it is.
Yeah. Me personally, I feel like we are Americans, but we're of African descent. Like we were not. This is not our land. Like we
Mm-hmm.
didn't. We don't come from here. And of course, we know the history of slavery. We were brought here
Mm-hmm.
and been here ever since. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and had to adapt to American culture.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that when I hear you say that, when people like the Asian community come here, the Hispanic community come here,
Mm-hmm.
they don't lose that they're Asian. They don't lose that they're Hispanic. They don't lose that they're French or whatever else they may be.
Right.
They always maintain, connection with their origin of where they come from. It's just unfortunate for us that, we were made to feel bad or to look down upon where we came from.
Right. And the difference is we didn't each generation got more and more
Disconnected.
from
Mm-hmm.
our homeland, from our culture,
Yeah.
versus other cultures that come here willingly.
Mm-hmm.
They're still connected. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes. The
they
Indian
bring their culture with
culture.
them.
Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't been erased. It's been passed
Right.
down from generation to generation. So
And
that's the difference.
that is what's supposed to be the great thing about America is that you can come as you are, maintain your cultures, because they do, and they do, and just but have to live by the laws and whatnot of the country, but you
Mhm.
don't have to, disavow that you're Asian or you're Indian or you're Hispanic. But for us, it's a different story.
Right. And maybe we'll get back there one day.
I don't think
Y'all
so.
comment, put in the chat if you have done your what's it called? Your
Ancestry.
if you've tried to look up see where you come from, your ancestry. But what's the other word they use? Um,
I don't know.
but if you researched, your family, if you can try to find your family lineage or
Yeah,
line.
yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
some people say it's accurate. Some people say maybe not so accurate. But
mhm.
you know,
Yeah, so it's a week long celebration surrounding Juneteenth that I have in the past participated in. Okay, awesome, awesome. So yeah, there's some festivities lined up already
right.
and being marketed for us to participate in, which is exciting. And I told you when I lived in California, they had a Juneteenth and they
Hmm.
had this long spread of all these items that African American people had invented, and we don't learn about it and we don't know the remote control, like all of this like stuff
It's
that we
yeah,
use
it's
every
buried.
day, and we have no idea that it's our people who invented these items. And
Right.
so it's a great opportunity if we use it right to really teach and educate our people. It really is, because it's not just about partying and celebrating, but I feel like that's the disconnect too. It's like there's no education holding us. You know how they say grandma used to tell stories and
Hmm.
passing down the knowledge.
Hmm.
That part is missing like big time.
Well, because of the breakdown of the family unit
Hmm.
in our culture, that's
Hmm.
primarily why. Because grandmama and big mama like 23 and 24 now, so they haven't lived long enough. You know what I mean? They haven't been around long enough.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's
You're right.
missing.
Now, what I would like to see is, so I have no problem with people for Juneteenth, but Juneteenth needs to be a everyday thing. It needs to be a
Hmm.
every
Hmm.
month thing or a
Yeah.
year-round thing, just like Black History or
Hmm.
so-called Black History needs to be
Hmm.
an education taught every day, every week,
Right. Right.
around the clock, around during the year, throughout the year,
Right.
because just like we just talked about, our culture and our history has been lost in the sauce
Hmm.
purposely. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So in order for us to educate the generation coming after us and those coming after them, yeah, we got to keep talking about this and putting this information out there, like you said, to let our people know what we invented, where they come from, because a lot of
Hmm.
people don't know outside of slavery and civil rights movement. They don't know we came from royalty. We invented a
Right.
lot of things that are
Had
still,
universities,
yeah,
electricity, like
yeah,
was just wonderful. Like, right.
yeah.
And another thing, like the quality of education has went down so bad
Oh
in
man.
certain situations, like
Right.
because okay, you think back when you were I know in Florida, like we had to know the 50 states, we had
Hmm.
to know the capitals, we had to know all of this information. You knew your seven continents, you knew what was what, longitude, latitude, you knew all this different stuff, right? And right now in a social studies class, the babies didn't know the difference between North America and Africa. We're studying about the Nile River and how it flows up and
Hmm.
different things, and they didn't know the difference between didn't first of all they didn't know it was a continent or that it was a country or whatever the case may be. It's just like the quality of the education has went down the drain. And then so I mentioned that we had the map up and I was like, so most of us, and I say that loosely, from that West Coast is where we were picked up, our ancestors, and brought over to the United States. And I said our names, our last names, you know, John, Lewis, what have you, those
Hmm.
are considered plantation owners' last names. The grasp.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know and I said, well, when you think about it, think about the culture of Africa or
Hmm.
wherever. None of those last names line up with what we have here in America. And then I had one Nigerian young lady, and her name was like super long, like almost all the alphabets.
Yeah.
So her name was, of origin to Africa, but most of us are not.
Right.
Most of us are not.
Right.
But that's the kind of stuff that they're not even learning in school. And we're not learning in church, or we're not learning, at home or anything like that.
Yeah, the education starts with the parents first. So you can't even blame the teachers. You know what I mean? The parents got to start first, and then the teachers add to that. You know what I mean? So it's like your ABCs. Kids should be taught their ABCs by their parents. They shouldn't wait till the kid goes to school and then it don't
and
work
their
like
numbers, at least up to 10.
Right.
20.
At least that's what our parents did for us. Like we learned all our ABCs, colors,
and
we learned all this
brown
stuff
paper
at home.
on how to write, trying to write. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So
they're dumbing these kids down. Like they I feel like they're purposely dumbing the kids down, and technology doesn't help. You know what I mean? It just makes it worse or adds to it.
No, when you say they, who is they, honey?
So the government, the powers that be.
Okay.
Yeah, they I feel like they're dumbing these kids down. And I was telling you that this former, I think he was a captain, not a captain. I think he was a sergeant major in the Army. Was saying that they're having problems with the kids that are coming into the Army now. They have to give them. He said they have to give them calcium bars. They have to give these kids calcium bars because they're not getting calcium.
Help today.
They're not exercising. They're not going outside. So they have to. He was like, their bones are brittle. Their bones their bones are really brittle. And they have to give them calcium bars, and a lot of them end up getting injured that young and being put out of the Army because they have to have screws put in, or they have to have these surgeries at such a young age because they have brittle bones.
Wow.
They can't deal with the sun. He's like, they can't deal with the sun.
Too hot.
Listen, I was blown away. I was like, what?
Goodness.
He's like, yeah, they're having a problem with this. These kids can't make it. Yeah, they can't make it.
Oh, so they are not built for it tough.
They're not built for it tough.
Help today.
They got to be helped along with nutrition, and he's like, their bodies have to literally be built up from calcium bars and other things that they give them.
And that goes to a lot of fast food, a DoorDash, ordering foods as opposed to like family meals, how we used to have where, family, we would cook a lot, more so than eating out. Things are changing. It has changed a lot.
Yeah.
It has changed a lot, and we can definitely see, the results of all of the changes. We can see it big time.
Right. So, I feel like technology, all these, we talked about this at work the other day, all these advances in technology, it's a gift and a curse.
Right.
Because, it's convenient to do certain things like older people or seniors, it's more convenient for them to do pickup and drop off at Walmart or,
they don't have
DoorDash,
to get out and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's good.
But at the same time, if you just sit home and order stuff all day, you don't have to you don't have to go out. You don't have to, you don't talk to people, you don't meet people.
Right.
So it's kind of like
and then you don't know how to talk to people. What? Huh?
Yeah.
It's rude and customer service is poor.
Don't get me started.
Ooh-wee.
Goodness. Customer service. I am a stickler for customer service. Listen, if your customer service is good, I will shop with you. I will drive.
Yes.
However long or far I need to drive to get to you.
Absolutely.
Your customer services.
Absolutely. Because poor customer service, listen, I don't want to spend a dime.
Listen, I went to this particular restaurant. I ain't gonna put the name out there. Got in the drive-through. Customer service was terrible. I drove all the way, however many miles I needed to drive for that same restaurant on the way on the other side of town. So
yeah, because you don't want to feel like they're doing you a favor, and you're patronizing and supporting their business, and they don't even have enough common decency or common courtesy to speak with you with respect. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, it's like you said, it's the technology. Everything is being cut short. You don't have to type everything out. You don't have to communicate fully with complete sentences. And so this is what you're getting in communication coming out of the mouth. It's not even, it's not even no effort anymore. And so then when you do get it, hey, how you doing? How can I help you? It's like, you know, a breath of fresh air, which used to be normal for everybody. And see, that's crazy being soldiers or being sent to fight in the war for the country. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not, yeah. It's a far cry from how we grew up and then how our parents grew up, you know what I mean? And then how their parents grew up. So
And listen, I've heard your young people say they're tired of hearing about how other people grew
how
up
it used to be,
and
right?
how it used to be and this,
Yeah.
that, and the third. But sometimes like that's your point of reference, you know, like that's your point of reference of what was normal and what was appropriate. And now it's out of control.
Listen, the kids are running the show. If you think
They
about
are
it,
running
that's
the
why.
show. They
That's
talk
why.
to you as if they are on adult status.
Yeah, I don't like it. I had to correct them real quick.
And it is crazy. Huh? What? Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, just it's and what I don't think they understand, or for me, it's like you're in this body that grew up a specific way. And so when something is like foreign, like, you know, it just it's surreal. It's like, wait a minute, you know?
Right.
But they don't have that experience. So there's nothing, you know, I don't know how to explain it the best way.
Are you saying from where we came from and then from
Yeah.
how they grew up?
Yeah,
or?
we have an experience of a certain way. And so when there's something foreign or that doesn't line up with it, it's an automatic like, hey, what is
Right.
going on here?
Right.
Whereas they don't have that experience. And so they feel like they're completely normal and fine to conduct themselves, you know, and then, you know, as adults, I feel like we contribute to it. When you have coaches allowing students to call them by their first name, where do we do that at?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm the bad parent or somebody else is the bad parent when we say, hey, we need them to call you Miss or Mr. or Coach because you have made it okay for a young person and you 30 and 40 years old to call you by your first name. Well, that is not appropriate.
And I think it's because some adults want to still be considered cool, you know what I mean? Or they want to feel like that's how they can relate to the kid. But yeah, it's a no for me.
Yeah. And it's a no in corporate world. It's a no in a professional setting. I can't be going up to no principal and be like, how you doing, Alvin?
Yeah.
They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. You know, and so they're setting the child up for failure.
Right.
Because it's not normal universally for you to address someone, you know, and just call them by their first name.
Right.
Instead of, you know, with the title. So and I feel like that's part of the battle as well. We have certain adults who are like, yeah, it's okay, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you have these adults who are like, wait a minute, you know, we want to set them up for success, even if it's doing too much, you know, it's a clash.
Yeah.
It's a clash.
When I used to work at YDC, that's one of the first things they taught us was that you have to make sure that there's a clear boundary and there's a clear line between child and adult. And they have to know that, hey, this is a line you're going to cross right now.
Oh, you call them a child today and they look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
Like, child, you know? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what you are.
Let me tell you something funny. So funny. I always laugh when I hear this. So you'll have somebody, 21-year-old, tell her like an 18-year-old, oh, you a baby. Oh. I heard a girl tell her this other girl this the other day. They both around the same age. She's like, oh yeah, I graduated in, what she said, I graduated in 2020. And then the other girl was like, yeah, I graduated in 2018. Oh, you a baby. Oh, you know what I mean?
Oh man.
I just laughed to myself. Like,
yes. And a big thing too is like, you know, it's no, you know, adult tells you to do this.
Yeah.
They in turn tell you, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm, you know, and it's just like it is out of control.
Well, they get that from home though. Like I believe
it's so normal though. It's like across the board, universal. It don't matter what side of town you on. It's very normal.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
It's very
it is.
normal.
I feel uncomfortable. Like when when I'm having a conversation with a child, I feel uncomfortable because they trying to talk to me like I'm on their level.
Yeah,
Like, wait a second.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, I'm not.
And then make you feel some kind of way because you're establishing that boundary, like, you know, you're wrong. And that's like, I seen an adult male and I seen a young lady,
hmm
and she's clearly a student.
hmm
He's like this, and she's leaned up, and they're on the wall. So immediately, everything in me is like, what is
Wait, this
really?
was a student and a teacher?
Yes.
Oh,
Immediately, everything in me is like, okay, well, what is wrong with this picture? And I'm, you know, in my mind, like, is this your daughter? Is this your child? But then I had to mind my business and keep it moving. And so it is so out of control today. Like, and it's such a difference in like the teachers that we had today. We had,
yeah.
you know, they were adults, they were professional, they had their boundaries, and today everything's just mixed all together. You know, adults cursing, adults walking around, you know, talking the same bruh and shawty and all kind of stuff to kids. It is out of control, and that's part of the contribution to why we have the results from our students that we have.
Right. Right.
And even if you try to maintain in your home standards and boundaries and respect and common courtesy,
hmm
once they get out into that school world, you have adults who don't align with the same values that you have, and you have
Yeah.
students who come from different homes who don't align. It is tough out there today. It is tough out there today.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. But you know, try to do the best you can as far as you know.
I don't recommend it. If you
Yeah.
don't have any children right now, I don't recommend it. I do not recommend it.
Well, the way the world is going and where the world is at, yeah, it's
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
These, you know,
Yes, yes.
I can only imagine what it's gonna look like 20 years from now. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yes, goodness.
Kids don't want to work. I never seen anything like it. They don't want to work.
Oh
You know,
man. Yep.
I never seen anything like it.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, that's the world we live in now. You know.
Yeah. And I always ask because, you know, it's interesting to think like, you know, what did the generations that came before us, like, what do they think about us? You know, like as the generations progressed or whatnot, did they feel like how we feel about the generations that come after us, you know?
I don't think so. I think to a small degree,
Uh-huh.
because when we grew up, a lot of the households were still intact.
Okay.
So you had, you know what I mean, and even if you didn't grow up in a household where you had your mom and dad, the village was still available.
The church,
Yeah.
yes. You
So
know, somebody was gonna get a hold of you, hold you accountable.
right. So I feel like it's not so much there anymore like that, which is why we have the issues we have, you know, now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, if each person in every household does their part, it'll get better. I think that's where it's
Well, I
going to
think
take.
we don't know what our parts are these days. I think we are
Really?
confused. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Because what my part might be, it may not be what your part.
Well,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. Everybody
like,
has to be on the same page.
Because my part is
No.
like, listen, you would have got tore up by some adults, you know, or you would have known better in the first place not to do that.
To a teacher?
To a student.
Right. I mean,
You
yeah.
know, you just would have known better.
Listen, if y'all paying attention to the headlines, there's so many headlines of teachers being fired for inappropriate behavior, having a relationship with these kids. So it's out of hand.
And I'm sorry, if I'm a parent and I walk up and I see you like that with my child, it's going down.
Right.
It's going down. It's not
Right.
appropriate. And so I feel like the boundaries are just washed away in the school setting. And it's a lot of stuff that's just, and I don't know, it's just a lot of stuff that's out of control. It's out of control.
Yeah.
And I can't, honestly, I don't see that it's going to get any better. So.
Well, we hope it does.
That part. I don't see that it's going to get any better. So.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, I'm a very positive and optimistic person.
You are.
So
you are.
it's really tough for me to but it seems overwhelming.
Right. That's
Everything
yeah.
that's going on. And then that the people that, care or have a certain type of whatever standard is few as compared to what we have going on in the world today.
Yeah, it's like like you said, it's overwhelming, and you kind of outnumber what
Yep.
what you're dealing with. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
And then I think that's what creates the certain little, social societies and different little clubs and groups because they're trying to, possibly maintain some form of dignity and respect and all of this that's overwhelmingly out of control, especially
yeah,
in the public sphere because it's a lot of people are indifferent. They're very indifferent about what's going on because I think it's too much.
yes, and it's constantly changing, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then too, kids nowadays are faced with a lot of things that we were not faced with. So you got to think about that part too.
And
You know
it's
what I mean?
unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
It's reality.
I shared with you, what I was told about the 7th grader. She has not come back to school.
Right.
Videos, like, once you put stuff out there in social media, on the web, it's out there.
Yeah, it's in the cloud.
It's out there.
Point, yeah.
And these are babies. You have your whole life ahead of you, and your face, not the other people, but your face is wide open on this situation. So everybody at the school knows, adults know this, that, and the third. And it's just like, what can we do to protect our young ladies and to build their self-esteem so that they're not, they're doing things that grown folk, they are so exposed to things.
Like we just,
it is out of control. And that needs to be regulated. Like they should not be able to Google or go on YouTube and just pull up anything, but they are.
But that's on the parents though. That part right there is on the parents.
But it still shouldn't be accessible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can't.
And
really
I don't
do
know
much
how
about
they
that.
fix it, but it shouldn't be accessible.
You can't really do much because, like I said, when we were kids, we didn't have access to that stuff.
Right.
So there was a lady, I can't remember what her name is, but she was saying she didn't allow her kids to have a cell phone or access to social media or access to these different platforms. She didn't allow it until they reached a certain age, and this is like high school age. Then she allowed them, and then she said she curtailed it, or she only let them get a certain amount of time to use the phone, and then she would take it away.
Right.
And then she had all these different restrictions on there, so they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that.
I'm telling you.
But she said once they're out on their own and grown, hey,
these folks are tech savvy today.
They're gonna find a way.
Rooted in shape.
Yeah, they're gonna find a way. Their friends will tell them, hey, you can, you know what I mean, or something. They'll figure it out. But you just try to do what you can do to minimize what they're exposed to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I feel it's an upward battle because, like I said, you shouldn't be able to go into Google and type this, and it's bam. Is wide open for you. You shouldn't be able to go to YouTube and type this and bam, it's like it's open to any and everybody.
Right.
So that's the problem. I feel like somehow it should be regulated. Like just like a child couldn't go into what kind of places they got here in Columbus. They can't just walk in there and be like,
the
hey.
vape shops and you talking about like that?
Yeah, and those other stores. Like you know what I'm talking about.
Like the smoke shops? I think that's what you're talking about.
All of them that are off limits to children.
Yeah.
They can't just walk in there and just be like, bam, I would like to get this, that, and the third. So Spencer's, that's wide open to kids. It shouldn't be.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's right there in the mall, wide open to kids, and it's wide open.
And I don't get that, but yeah.
It should be.
It is like you're right.
And they could probably just go in there and purchase anything they would like to purchase.
Right.
And walk right on out with it.
Parents ain't got a clue. They went to the mall And they came home with all kind of little goodies their parents don't know about.
Don't have a clue. Yes. And I know the girls used to hate me for this because they could buy shirts and stuff. I'd be like, take it right on back,
Listen,
take it right on
that
back.
can happen across the board, you know what I mean, with other parents.
Take
things
it
will be a lot
right
better.
on back. Yes.
But that's what you got to do, though.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. But these days they're getting smart. They have it shipped to other people's houses and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, they'll find a way.
Yes.
It's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll find a way. Unfortunately, but yeah.
So with all of this stuff, I feel like that's just been like spewing the problems and the issues. How can we put a positive spin on the things that we've discussed today as it regards our city and our community? And what can we do to contribute to, helping?
So I believe, just like we talked about, it starts in your home first. You know what I mean? You have to take care of your home first. You have to unite in your home first.
Yeah.
You have to keep your property clean first. And then from there, then you can go out in the community and help keep the community clean. Because how can you help keep the community clean if your own place is not clean?
Right.
And how can you go out and preach unity and you're not unified in your own home?
Right.
So I think everything starts in your home first. Fix your own home first. If each person fixes their own home first, then you can go out in the community and start trying to help and fix this and try to help fix that. But I think it all starts at home first, from cleanliness to uniting to putting the family back together, to all of that starts at home first. And then, so that's my solution. Now, as far as city council goes, again, we got to hold these city council members accountable. And, that's what it's going to take. Holding the city council members accountable for whatever district they're over, whatever position they hold, because they're public servants at the end of the day.
Yes.
Police officers, they're public servants. Like all of these people supposed to represent and speak for the people.
Right.
So that's my solution, is to start at home first. And then from there, go out and do your part and do what you can in the community.
Right. And then also make sure you vote. And just stop allowing people to get in office unopposed because they're not being challenged or held accountable. I tell you what, everybody can't get elected and everybody can't, be in a political seat. And I think before how it was brought to me is like, there's A people, those people are out front, and there's B people, those people are behind, supporting, undergirding, holding each other up. And I think it's important that we find, where we fit in, and then we act accordingly, because, there's a time and a season for everything. And so just for example, this District 10 seat, we got 4 people running for the same position when, in my opinion, there's only one that's truly qualified for it. But that person will not likely become the person who needs to be in that seat. How do we get away or get around the foolery? You don't necessarily have to be in a political seat, to do good or to get in good trouble in our community.
Right.
You got to get in where you fit in. And sometimes there's power in not being in those seats, because you can do more and you can say more. That unbought and unbossed situation, sometimes it's better.
Yeah.
It's definitely important to have people in there that's gonna, be true to what we need.
Right. Right. Okay. So I think we should leave it there. We came, we saw, we conquered. We appreciate the Candid family for always tapping in and giving us feedback and being a part of the conversation. Because here on Candid Conversation, it's not popular.
Yes, but it's important.
That's right.
Yes.
So yeah, make sure y'all tune in Sunday. We're gonna have a great conversation for y'all.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
About entrepreneurship, pros and cons.
Yes.
pros and cons of a job.
Yes.
So we're gonna kind of get into that financial,
Working for the man.
right, financial vein of things. So yeah, make sure y'all tune in for that.
And make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. Make sure you get out on May 11th as well. There's going to be another forum. And then also make sure you support your candidate. Whoever it is that you need to vote for, you're in a district to vote for, make sure you support them. And candidates, you have to speak up. You have to communicate with your constituents or those people who are here to support you, and then let them know what you need, how they need to fit in, because people, how they say, life be lifing, and
Right.
and life is life, and however they say it these days. So let's get it. Let's be supportive. Let's do what we need to do to be supportive.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So again, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and come back again Wednesday or Sunday.
Sunday.
Tune in Sunday.
Yes.
For a great conversation.
Oh yeah, Sunday is it Mother's Day on Sunday?
Oh yeah. So so we'll have to compile Sunday's conversation with Wednesday's conversation.
Why?
Because I don't think many people are gonna tune in on Mother's Day.
It doesn't matter if they tune in, honey.
Okay, so we'll be here on Mother's Day.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they can always catch it, the replay.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
We will be here live and direct on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So again, peace and love. We appreciate y'all.
Have a good evening.
Like, share, and subscribe. Take care. We'll see y'all soon.
We love y'all and have a good one.
Peace.
Honey, you didn't put your music on to cut me off today like on the Apollo.